currently. In 1991, we are 18 years, we were 18 years last week. Of course, Cassava, the state capital, our population currently is about 4.1 million. We have very many ethnic groups, mainly 5, and that is our land area. Geographically, we cover a land, we have a land area of 60% and the water 40%. But we have a very large coastal line of 163 kilometers. And this coastal line also is very deep. Now, we are the third largest economy in Nigeria, contributing over $16.7 billion to the country's GDP. We have oil and gas, which account for 73% of the state GDP. We also are into agriculture and other manufacturing activities, including commerce. Some of the things that are peculiar or the Delta states in terms of occupation, we have a lot of farmers who are into arable farming and fishing and also trading. We are rich in oil and gas and other minerals. We have ports at Warri, Sapele, Koko, and Butu. Of course, we have dominant presence of oil and gas plants in the states. We have a rich vegetation and good climate for farming. We have 24, all the banks in Nigeria are present in Delta. And let me say that they are not distressed. Our universities from 1999, where we had 1, we now have 4 in 2009. And our state government revenue grew from 7 billion in 1999 to about 161 billion in 2008. We have increase in public hospitals from 35 in 1998 to 56 in 2009. And let me assure Ambassador Carity that in November we shall be commissioning the most sophisticated hospital in Nigeria. And when that is done, not many of us will be coming to Texas. Our strategy for development is captured in our 3-point agenda of peace and security, human capital development, and infrastructure development. And like Ambassador Carity said, without peace and security, you cannot achieve development, whether human capital or infrastructure. And of course, without infrastructure development or human capital development, you cannot achieve peace and security. They are all interwoven. And that is why we come out with this 3-point agenda. We know people have several agendas, but ours is quite simple. And if you go to Delta today, even the Okada rider, the cycle rider, knows or is aware of our 3-point agenda. Now, talking about the journey so far, of course, critically, in terms of dealing with issues of Delta, is that of peace and security. And in talking about peace and security, Delta states, as part of the Niger Delta, like we heard, there are a lot of issues of injustice, issues of marginalization, issues of corruption, and several issues that have led to the Niger Delta crisis. So in dealing with the peace and security issues, we'll try to look at all the reasons and see what we can do as a state government to ensure that there's peace and security. We believe that every segment, every stakeholder has one thing or the other to contribute to ensure that we have peace in Niger Delta. Federal government has its own responsibility, the state government has its responsibility, the local government council, the communities, the international body has its responsibility, the multinationals have their responsibility, because collectively we are all part of the problem. I don't want to say the problem was caused by the federal government alone, or by the state government alone, or by the local government alone, or by the international body alone, or by the oil companies alone, or the community alone. Collectively, we have played one role or the other to complicate the problem that is on ground today. And we also have our roles to play to ensure that we solve this problem. And so in designing our peace and security strategy, we've taken all these into consideration. For us as a state government, what did we do? We tried to create two boxes. A box for development, the human capital development, and of course, the infrastructure development, and another box for law and order. Because in society where there's no law and order, nothing succeeds. So, we've said we'll try as much as possible to ensure that the place is developed. But we will also ensure that it has to be law and order. And what do we do in trying to create development? Is developing a model, actually started by a predecessor to Diaspora, of what we call the Delta State Oil Areas Producing Development Commission, the Diaspora. Fortunately, at the time we're coming as a government, the law has been passed. It was our responsibility to ensure that that commission was put in place. And what is that commission about? The commission is a body in which every month the government puts aside 50% of the 30% elevation that comes to the states for the development of the oil producing communities. Because like I said, what is the issue? One of the issues is that the communities do not have a sense of belonging. They don't feel the impact of the oil that's coming out of their land. And that is why our governors, let me just explain some of the things he said. We took up the challenge these last few weeks that the petroleum industry bill that is currently in the National Assembly should also include royalty to the community. Because, like Emmanuel said, if royalty is paid to the community and is properly managed on one side, then two, if the communities are also part of the companies that get this oil from the ground. If Shell or Chevron, since they came to Nigeria several years ago, even if it's 2% of the ownership of Chevron or Shell is by the communities, you know how much 2%, what 2% would have done to those communities since over, is it over 50 years that Shell came to Nigeria? Over 50 years now that Shell came to Nigeria. It is just 2% that Shell was putting aside for the communities. You know what that would have done to the communities? The argument is, oh, they would have killed themselves, yes, but people will be left behind to spend what is left. And so as a state, we're trying to show that, look, let us use the super deck to tell people what communities can do with funds that come to them. And so the membership of the commission is from the communities. We will not take somebody who is staying in America to come and be a member of the commission. No. The commission members are from the communities. And it is a bottom-up approach strategy for development. Because they decide and determine the projects that they require for their various communities. They go about planning for those projects, executing those projects, and of course, enjoying the end product of those projects. I'm laying a lot of emphasis on this so that we understand that the SuperDec is a very key outfit that can determine the future of the Niger Delta. That's why I'm very happy that Professor Ogu yesterday, after discussing, and he